Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, all races, all colors, all languages. Men, women, children around the world, no matter who you are. May you have the most beautiful day. May you have the most awesome day. And for whatever goals you have set forth for yourself on this day, may those goals come to fruition. So, good morning. And before we start, I haven't posted to Facebook, so a lot of people that are from Facebook that haven't been seeing my videos, I haven't been putting them on Facebook. I pretty much just do YouTube, and it falls in line with what I preach about social media. I don't do TikTok, I don't do any of that other stuff. I at one point I was gonna try to get into that, and I could have because my following and everything else, it quadrupled, and but that's not me. I'm not gonna sit around and go social media, because we have to focus on so much of what's going on in the world. And another reason for it also is that my message is true. I don't want anything from anyone. I don't want your validation. All I'm doing is putting out what's really going on in this world and try to hopefully open up people's minds to it. And this is what the topic is today. The topic is entitled, "Why Can't We All Get Along?" And in parentheses, it says men and women. So, when you think about the gas prices, now I'm going to show you how all is one. Think about the gas prices. Think about, the unemployment rate. Think about, the inflation rate. Think about all these different things that are going on in this world. And we say, well, how do we come to fix it? But yet and still, the same question that was posed in everybody's book, in your Bibles and religious documents, all talk about the division between Adam and Eve, that where the disobedience came. And ever since that time period, they've been at one another. So men and women have been at odds ever since the beginning. And, women, whether you understand this or not, you've been weaponized. I've said this, not just me that said it. I pointed people to 1776 when these elitist men sat back and said that they would use women. First of all, I'm not here to bash women, because women from all over the country go through different things. You got women that that are here. So this is why we have so much of a controversial interaction when it comes to, men and women. Because you have some women that come from a country where they can be sold at the age of 11 years old. And then they're here, and we're talking to these men, and as well as these women, and say, well, we don't like, that's disgusting. But this is the way they've been growing up for thousands of years. So we have to really understand what people are going through in order to change the world. And we need to change the interaction between men and women. There's other countries where women come from. And this is for the guys as well. You have to understand the women that you're dealing with. All women on the face of this earth are wounded. Every last woman on the face of this earth is wounded. And if you don't believe me, every woman that's on the face of this earth believes that everything that comes out of your mouth is a lie. I'll be waiting. Tell me I'm wrong, and for any other woman to tell me that I'm lying. I'll wait. And it takes us men, years to develop this. When the younger generation should be, we should be educating the younger generation to educate their younger generation, in order to deal with this, in order to make that part of interaction right, where people, men and women begin to trust one another. So how can we change the world when we can't even get along? Where you got households where, one, whether it's a single parent or whether, you got both parents, and then the kids see all this stuff that, comes from the outside world into your family. You see, these things are done from birth. They're done on purpose. We are being put into bondage, so that we have to be at odds with one another. Now, to go back, everything that comes out of a man's mouth, a woman believes that you are lying. And now, I want to go get one step deeper. Take a relationship where a man gets caught cheating. The woman catches the man. So now I'm going back and forth. I'm showing you that it's all dysfunction. And there's going to be no togetherness as long as these dysfunctions are there. So it's been literally the relationships that are being formed in today's world, as well as ones in the past, they've been manipulated to fail. So now the woman catches the man and he's cheating. Now, she sees him. She's looking right at him. She's watching him from across the park. Now, I'm sitting in the park. She's watching him across the water, blowing circles and making, gathering nuts together. You know what I mean? And then she walks up and she's like, you're laying down with her. I got pictures. No, baby, I love you. Those are wrong. Those are Photoshopped. And they believe it. So there's that disconnect of any kind of interaction. That disconnect that says, instead of saying, hey, look, this isn't going to work out, I'm going to move on. No, we deceive because it's intentional to want to hurt. So when I say that women hate men, men also hate women in a certain way, to a certain extent, because we do it in a controlling way. We try to control, we try to dominate, and the thing is, it's a 50-50 because, that's what the balance is for man and woman. It's 50-50, and we feel that, well, we can't even say it's us. It's the program that we've been put into and how this program has been here from the beginning. And it's designed to cause division. I want to go one step further. And like I said, I can put Kevin Samuels' title up on for my video, and people will come just because it's, they see Kevin Samuels. Oh, what? Who is this guy? He might know something. I don't want that. Again, this is why I don't do that. I don't need your validation. I don't need jack. I'm comfortable with me. And this ties into Kevin Samuels. There was a woman who put on social media, now mind you, women, think about this, you're mothers, you have children. Imagine if your child dies and somebody gets on a radio or a TV and sits there and bashes your kid, not even knowing your kid, not having no inklings of who your kid is. So, you have to think about what it is if it's being done to you. I'm going to tie that in again as well as what I'm speaking on. But in staying in contrast with that statement that the woman said, oh, I guess he got his, and he died all alone. Think about that statement. Now, I thought about that statement as a man. And some of my videos you hear, if the world ended right now for me, I'm comfortable. I have no regrets. And I'm alone. I'm not in a relationship. I'm alone. But you know what? I found me. And this is what every woman out there is trying to do. And this is why they seek out these relationships, to find themselves. When this is not the case, where men should be helping women to know themselves. And women should be helping men to know themselves. And see, it's a whole different concept than a woman and a man says, well, I got to manipulate our situation, or I have to manipulate, I have to be in control of this. And one of the things this is from a woman I dated a long time ago. She said to me that if it weren't for me, you'd be lost. And she really believed that. She really believed that. I've had another woman that I dated in the past where she said straight out that she wished that I'd lose my job. Literally, she ended up, trying to make me lose my job. Literally, to extremes. So it goes to say that, why are you women with men and you have a hatred for them? It's almost like you hate them so much, but you want to be with them to hurt them. And now I'm going to answer that question. Because, tell me if I'm wrong, ladies. I was speaking to a woman yesterday, right? Now, this woman is aware of the abuse, of the harassment, of the thefts, of every kind of vile and disgusting thing that can be done to an individual, and knew about it and was part about it. So now that all that stuff is exposed and she knows that the whole picture is being seen. So I made a comment, and the comment that I made, because like I said, I don't take things personal. I know who you are. I know what you're all about. I know the energy that's in you. So when you know the energy that's within people, it gives you, you see things coming. Remember, like Neo, picking off the bullets, because you're evil. Now check this out. Check this out. So in the conversation, I said, man, because now, what can you do? I see you coming. You know what I mean? So there's nothing you can do so you don't come around. And that's what happens when these things happen. When you have females who are trying to intentionally hurt you, they don't have to really be in a relationship with you. They just hate men. And if another woman can get you to latch on and she can add her hate onto you, this is what you get. And this is why we cannot get along. So after, saying, hey, I'm still standing. I'm always be me, because I understand what's going on. I said, but you know what? You could have stopped this a long, long time ago. I said, but I understand how this works. You know what I mean? I said, because, most people, now this is a white woman, I'm a black man. And I said, I know that most people, they'll smile in your face, and I know how racism works. So, what I'm saying? I said, it was no surprise to me. I said, but, you could have stopped that. And she was like, oh, well, I just try to make sure. No, you don't. No, you don't. You allowed what took place to take place because you did this. Not those people that you employed to do this stuff. It was you. And the fact that I know that it was you. So I said, and even still, even after all this, I asked you over and over and over, do something. Now it's out of my hands, it's out of your hands. And then, the people that, it's into now, they can come at any time. They don't know when these people are coming. So, they can live on now, but the one strike that was put against them for the rest of their duration, is there for the rest of their careers, as long as they're in the business that they're in right now. That is a black eye on what they do. So I said, you know, when I said you have a choice, the response was, I know. She said, I know, but this is where I have to be. This is where this is what it is. Think about these words that's coming from someone who knows the thing. I mean, some serious harassment, as real bad, daily, nightly, as well as vandalism. Knew and was a part of this, but used other people to do it. Knew and was looking right at me. But the thing about it was, why that person felt small was because I'm still standing. And that's this say that this shows the weakness in the individual, and the individual becomes small. So the words that she said, she masked within a giggle or a smile, and she was like, well, you know, it's like, you know, I have to stay the course, you know, it's literally stay. So she's like, yo, this is the way I've been brought up. This is the way that we view, you know, people of color. This is the way that, you know, this is what goes on within my family. This is how, you know, the women outside of my family treat other people of color. So this is normal to us. Again, think about the 11-year-old kid overseas being sold into marriage and then being married and having kids at the age of 13, 14 years old, where this is accepted even today. Think about places in Asia where they have these young girls who, you know, it's okay for the men to sleep with. Think about that. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what country I'm talking about. So now you got all these people that are in this country, that in their own country, you can go and look at, go into a booth and sit there and look at little minor children. So when we live in this crazy world, how do you expect for us to be together? Now let's look at here in America, because all women are different and they go through all different types of abuses. So in America, now here we sit back and we say that, you know, it's the man runs everything, the woman is submissive to the man, and, you know, that's that and that's that. But yet and still you have men who are molesting their children. They have men who are molesting these women. And then as these women are getting older, the ones who haven't been molested, 10 years old, going into a store to get candy, and then you got some creep behind the counter that wants to sleep with her. So when women are experiencing all these different things, as growing up, like I said, the first 7 years, and all this confusion before the teenage years, no one is balanced. You know, their brains are a lot more fragile than what our brains are as men. So as men, we have to turn around and we have to try to create some kind of dialogue. And it's a hard thing to do, because now I'm going to stay here with American Woman, because it's the woman that I'm talking to now, right? So get it right. This is not the woman that I'm talking to right now. So a few years ago, you know, I met this woman, and, you know, everything was good. You know what I'm saying? And everything was good. And the thing about it was like after the first couple of days, we could have moved furniture. You know, we could have banged out. But by my choice, I said no. I wanna know you. I wanna get to know who you are. I wanna know you as a person. So she says to me, she goes, well, do you wanna know what I do? No, I wanna know you as a person. I say this to every woman that I meet. I wanna know you as a person. You know what I mean? Because I want a friend who I can love. Did you get that, men? I want a friend who I can love. So this is the direction that we have to go through. These are the things that take place. Instead, we go through the process of, I'm gonna get the booty and then we'll work it out later. But what about after you spend so much time getting a booty, she takes off her clothes and you're like, oh man, that's like, you know, that don't even look right. I've been chasing after this. So we have to understand that, you know, by becoming a friend first, you making love to a woman's mind. And for you women, when you become friends with a man first, you're making love to a man's mind, which makes a man continuously want to be with you, continuously want to build with you. But yet and still, we're living in a world where everything is fake, everything is now. So we're not even talking about how to lower gas prices. We're still stuck on how to communicate with one another. So I hope that, you know, for women, you know, we look at this. But wait, let me go back. So, you know, after I said, you know, that's what I said to the female, she was like, oh, yeah, okay, you know, I'm like that too, you know, I'm glad that you said that, which is good. And, you know, I was telling my girlfriends that, you know, that you were different, and I guess now that, you know what I'm saying, that this is like this, and you're saying what you're saying, you are different. So I'm gonna be here because that, you know, this is what I want too. You know, this, you know, I was like, yeah, that's what you were telling me. Now I'm telling you I want the same thing. And now they, wait, why you don't want to sleep with me? That's how I heard why she was what she was saying. Why you don't want to sleep with me? But you were saying the same thing. You want to take time, get to know me. But now the opportunity presents itself, and now you want to go in and dig in. And all of a sudden now it's like I'm pulling back and say, yo, I want the same thing as you. So let's just take it slow. So there's a manipulation that goes on, and it ties in with every man is lying. So if they're believing that you're lying, then every word that you say that's not believed is manipulated. And everything that you say is being held against you. What kind of relationship is that? And then what kind of a relationship was when you have kids and, you know, you got the parents bad-mouthing one another to the kids. The kids see this, you know, so we can't change anything. So to say that the world's going to change, the world's going to become a better place, this is why you hear me say that the world's not going to get any better, it's going to get worse, is because women are unable or will refuse to change their ways. Tying back into the comment, where, you know, I got to stay the course, you know, this is how it is for us. This is how it is, you know, I got to continue to, you know, bash people. And that look was real, and the blankness was real, because it can't register. You ever see a blind spot? Like you're in your car and you're driving, you're looking in your mirror, you're looking in your rears. Now, but there's also blind spots. If you turn your car a certain way, you're in a blind spot. You're not going to be able to see something that you should be seeing. So this is the blind spots that we're talking about. So for everything that makes sense, there's these blind spots that make so much sense, but because it conflicts with the narrative in which it's been subliminally implanted into every human being, it's a blind spot and they don't know what to do. It makes no sense to them. And this is the most intelligent people in the world that we all possess this. So this is why I say we have to train ourselves and to train our brains. One of the things that I took on, that I learned over the process of talking to women, is I believe you're lying too. You want to believe that I'm lying? I don't believe jack that you say. Show me, prove it to me. But see, when you're doing this, then the women back off because they want their cake and eat it too. So, you know, we're all gonna lose. Ladies, you're already losing. Because a lot of the women are becoming in relationships with other women. A lot of the men are turning with other men. Not me personally, but we see it all around us. And it's not because people want to go in those different directions. It's because of the anger and the confusion that goes on when couples get together and they bring their anger and they bring their childhood baggage into these relationships. And then not only do they destroy relationships, they destroy every offspring from those relationships. So we have a world full of confusion. So, like I say, guys, you know, if we want to stand up, you can be on social media saying everything you want. But I don't see guys out there sitting there saying, you know what, I'm going to take my time. You know, and a lot of us are older, so we've been in relationships. We've been with women. But it's that thing where we need sex. You know, they're pumping sex. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel that sex is, you know, that sex is what makes up a woman, then you're lost. So to tie back into Kevin Samuels, for the women who said, oh, he died alone and, oh, he got what was good for him. What if that man was comfortable being alone? What if that man was happy? What if he was fulfilled being alone? Because I'm comfortable, I'm fulfilled. In the beginning, I felt a little lonely, and because, again, social. But then as I got to spend time and I started to learn me and really, really learn who I was and things started to change, I'm happy doing nature, just like this, fishing. So I should be fishing probably like this weekend or next weekend. I'm getting ready to get a boat, so you know, that I can come out and get on water like this. Again, remember in my videos I said if I can't swim to the shore, I'm not gonna go on a boat. So I'm getting a boat so that I can go in something like this. And then think about it, I want a woman that, you know what I'm saying, that we can do stuff like this together. There's so many females out there that say, oh, I do this, I do that, I'm into this. And then it turns out to be all bull. Or it'll only be after, you know, you start sleeping together and everything goes south. And it's because of hate. And it's not because of the hate of you, it's from the self-hate of the individual. And then the men, we have the same thing. There's a self-hate where we have a longing. We have a need to have a mommy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being men. And a lot of that comes from single families as well. So, you know, men got work to do, women got work to do, and we have to build, you know, these relationships before we can change anything. So with that, everyone, I hope I made sense. And condolences to Kevin Samuels. Like I said, I agree to disagree, but I do that with every content creator because everyone has a piece of the puzzle. But it's up to you and I to find out what parts of those puzzles apply to us to make us our best us. So with that, everybody, I'm sorry that, you know, we ain't talking about money and balling and how to have the big house and the women and all that stuff. No, I want a plain Jane. Because that's where we go and we have something that is more valuable than what you see as far as what other people see and what's glossy. Because the plain Jane, everything that we build with love. So that's more important. Love is more important than anything on the face of this earth, and it's the one thing that we try to control. And when you try to control love, it's not love. So in order to change the world and get along, try love. But in order to get love, we all need to go into our own personal libraries and start clearing out our closets and to begin to forgive ourselves and go against the norms of what it is that we've been culturally brought up to believe. Because it's crazy. You're hurting other people, as well as, other people hurting you. We're all hurting one another. Nothing's getting better. And these things haven't worked. So as a little kid, you saw this. Did things get better as an adult? No, those things are still going on and they get worse. So let's change it and let's start with us. So with that, everyone, I know this is kind of long, but if you have to, turn it off and, come back to it and hear it through. Because like I say, self-reflection is how we change. And men and women, we have to start there first. Before we can even talk about dropping gas prices, changing abortion laws, and all that other stuff, start getting along together. In your home, in your relationships. Because evil is here, and it's not going anywhere. So with that, everyone, have the most beautiful day once more, men, women, children. Glad to be out here getting some air, getting you all out here, getting you with the feel and stuff like that to say, hey, this is where I'm home. Put me in the woods and leave me alone, and I'm good. I'll survive. And that's something that may have to happen in the near future. So if you don't see me and I go off grid, you'll know. So have a beautiful day. Have an awesome day. Be the best person that you can be. Men, women, children, around the world, no matter who you are. May you have the best day. Have an awesome day. And with that, everyone, peace and blessings.